My brothers and sisters, in a world where everyone seems to be rushing towards relationships, marriage and companionship, we often forget that sometimes, Allah's greatest blessings are in what He withholds. Staying single is not always a curse. For many, it is a divine gift, a shield, a season of growth, and a path to self-discovery. When Allah keeps you single, it may be His way of protecting you from harm, preparing you for something far better, or granting you the freedom to focus on what truly matters. Remember, Allah's timing is perfect, and His plan is always greater than our desires. When Allah keeps you single, sometimes it is His way of shielding you from the wrong person, and the pain that comes with a relationship not meant for you. Many people rush into companionship out of fear of loneliness, not realizing that loneliness with peace is far better than togetherness with heartbreak. There are countless stories of individuals who thought they had found love, only to later discover that it brought them endless stress, emotional wounds, and even a weakening of their faith. Sometimes, the wrong person can distract you from your purpose, drain your energy, and pull you away from the path of Allah. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sees what you cannot see. He knows the reality behind the smiles, the words, and the promises. While we may be blinded by outward appearances, Allah knows the hearts and the hidden intentions. Staying single during a certain period of your life might be Allah's way of keeping you from a toxic relationship that would have stolen your peace and destroyed your happiness. Many people look at those who are single and assume they are missing out, but in truth, they may be the ones who are safe from betrayal, from heartbreak, from being undervalued and taken for granted. It is better to remain single than to be with someone who brings you closer to sin, who abuses your trust, or who manipulates your emotions. Sometimes, the person you think is perfect could have been the source of your greatest regret, but Allah's mercy kept them away from you. This is not a punishment, it is protection. And this protection may not make sense immediately, because our hearts are impatient and our desires strong. But over time, when you see the pain others go through in relationships that are wrong for them, you begin to understand that being single during that time was one of the greatest gifts Allah could give you. Every delay, every unanswered dua for marriage, every person who walked away, it could all be part of Allah's plan to protect you from harm. Even when you feel lonely, remember that loneliness with Allah is not really loneliness at all. It is a space where your heart can heal, your mind can grow, and your soul can strengthen. And when Allah finally writes the right person for you, you will look back and thank Him for every time He closed the door on the wrong one. When you are single, you are given an incredible opportunity to focus on yourself, to grow in ways that might be difficult when your time, emotions, and responsibilities are tied to another person. Self-growth is not just about career progress or learning new skills, it's also about understanding who you are, what your values are, and how you want to live your life in a way that pleases Allah. Many people rush into relationships before they have truly understood themselves, and they end up losing their identity in the process. Being single allows you to explore your strengths, identify your weaknesses, and work on becoming the best version of yourself without constant external pressure. Spiritually, this season can be a golden time to build your connection with Allah, to pray without distractions, to engage in acts of worship wholeheartedly, and to develop habits that will stay with you for a lifetime. You have more time to read and reflect on the Quran, to study the life of the Prophet to attend beneficial gatherings, and to implement what you learn without the competing demands of a partner or family life. On a personal level, you can invest in your mental health, your education, and your passions. You can travel, learn new languages, develop hobbies, and expand your experiences, all of which shape you into a richer, more complete human being. This period can also teach you emotional independence, the ability to be content and whole within yourself rather than relying on someone else for validation or happiness. Too often, people expect a spouse to complete them, when in reality, only Allah can fill the void in the heart. When you use your single years to strengthen your iman, build your resilience, and align your goals with your values, you prepare yourself not only for a healthier future relationship, if Allah wills, but also for a life that remains fulfilling even if marriage is delayed or does not happen. These years are a training ground, where you can refine your patience, deepen your gratitude, and understand your purpose in life. They give you the clarity to recognize the right person when they come along, and the strength to walk away from the wrong one without hesitation. In this way, your time alone is not wasted, it is an investment in the person you are becoming, and in the life you are building for the sake of Allah. When you are single, you have a unique freedom that is often underestimated. The freedom to serve Allah and serve others without the distractions, limitations, and constant obligations that can come with a committed relationship or family life. This is a season where your time is largely your own, where you can make decisions quickly, travel for good causes, volunteer in community projects, and dedicate your energy to work that brings long-term benefit. While marriage is a beautiful act of worship, and raising a family is an immense responsibility with great rewards, there are also times in life when Allah keeps you unbound, so that you can pour yourself into service, without being pulled in 100 different directions. When you are single, you can pray in the last part of the night, without worrying about disturbing someone else's sleep. You can fast voluntarily without needing to adjust to another person's schedule. You can join charity missions, attend Islamic classes, travel for knowledge, and spend hours with the Quran without feeling guilty for neglecting another person's needs. This freedom allows you to give your best years, energy, and creativity to causes that matter most for your akhirah. Many people in relationships, especially those with children, find it extremely difficult to give as much time to dua work, humanitarian aid, or consistent worship as they did when they were single, simply because their priorities are naturally centered around their spouse and children. While this is not a bad thing, in fact, it is part of their responsibility. It means their opportunities to serve in broader ways are limited. But when you are single, those limitations are fewer. You can commit to projects that require flexibility, such as traveling to remote areas to distribute food, teaching Quran to children in underprivileged communities, or even dedicating weeks to memorizing new surahs. You can be present for friends and family who are struggling, visit the sick regularly, and support your community in ways that might be much harder to do when balancing the demands of a household. The Prophet taught us that the best of people are those who are most beneficial to others. Being single can be the time when you embody that teaching most fully because your schedule, your finances, and your mental focus are more adaptable. You are not burdened with the same level of financial commitments as someone supporting a spouse or children, which means you can give more in charity, fund more projects, and invest in causes that bring you ongoing rewards long after you leave this world. Your availability also means you can respond quickly when there is an urgent need, such as helping during a natural disaster, or assisting someone in immediate distress. This freedom also benefits your spiritual journey. You can spend more time in the masjid, participate in itikaf during Ramadan, or take part in extended worship retreats without worrying about who will take care of your household duties in your absence. You can build deep bonds with your teachers, mentors, and righteous companions, strengthening your circle of influence, and keeping your heart connected to goodness. These connections often shape your character in profound ways, making you more compassionate, patient, and wise. When the time for marriage comes, you will carry these qualities into your relationship, making it stronger and more grounded in service to Allah. Being single also allows you to discover the joy of doing good purely for the sake of Allah, without expecting recognition or appreciation from a partner. Sometimes, when people are in relationships, their acts of service are shared experiences, which is beautiful, but it can also blur the line between doing something for Allah and doing it to maintain harmony with their spouse. When you are alone, every choice to help, to give, to sacrifice, is between you and Allah alone. This sincerity can purify your intentions and deepen your awareness that all good you do is part of your worship. Furthermore, this stage of life gives you the emotional and mental space to pursue personal projects that serve the Ummah. You could write, teach, organize events, or create resources that benefit people long after you are gone. Many of the scholars, writers, and leaders in Islamic history achieved their most impactful work while they were single, simply because they had the uninterrupted focus to devote themselves entirely to their mission. They saw their singleness not as a shortcoming, but as a blessing that allowed them to serve Allah and humanity with excellence. Another overlooked blessing of this freedom is that it allows you to travel for spiritual growth. You could go on Hajj or Umrah multiple times without worrying about managing a family's schedule and expenses. You could travel to study under scholars in different countries, to immerse yourself in environments where your faith can flourish. These are opportunities that become much harder once you are tied to family responsibilities. Even small acts of service become easier. You can be the one who always checks on elderly neighbors, who runs errands for people in need, who attends funerals to comfort the grieving, who is present at community gatherings to uplift and support. Your consistent presence can make a difference in ways you might not realize now, but that will count heavily in your scale of good deeds on the day of judgment. Being single also teaches you to rely on Allah as your main source of companionship. You learn that service to others is not just about filling your time. It's about fulfilling your purpose. When you focus your energy on helping people for the sake of Allah, you find your own loneliness fading, replaced by the contentment that comes from knowing you are living a life of meaning. This is one of the secrets of why serving others is so fulfilling. It turns your focus outward, away from your own struggles, and allows you to see the blessings Allah has already given you. And when you build a habit of serving in this phase of your life, it becomes part of your character for the rest of your days. Whether you remain single for a long time or Allah grants you marriage soon, you will carry this generosity of spirit with you, benefiting everyone around you. In that sense, this freedom is not a pause in your life's journey. It is an active, vibrant chapter filled with opportunities to earn Allah's pleasure and leave behind a legacy of goodness that continues to benefit you long after you have left this world. When you are single, you are spared from many of the financial and emotional burdens that come with being in a relationship or raising a family. Marriage, while a great blessing, comes with responsibilities that can be heavy and sometimes overwhelming. Providing for a spouse, managing household expenses, supporting children's education, and dealing with unexpected financial challenges can create significant pressure. This is especially true in a time when the cost of living is rising and economic uncertainty affects many households. Being single means that your financial obligations are typically fewer, allowing you to live within your means more comfortably, save for the future, and make decisions without the stress of having to stretch resources to meet multiple needs. You have the flexibility to budget according to your personal goals, invest in your own education or career advancement, and give in charity without the constant balancing act that comes with family expenses. Financial freedom at this stage also gives you room to take calculated risks in your career or personal projects. You can explore business ideas, further your studies, or relocate for better opportunities without having to worry about how such changes will impact a spouse or children. This flexibility can lead to greater personal and professional growth, which may not be as accessible if you were tied to larger financial obligations. Additionally, you can contribute more generously to charitable causes, sponsor orphans, or support relatives in need without feeling like you are compromising your household's security. The sadaqah you give in this phase can become a source of ongoing reward, and your ability to give without hesitation can bring immense satisfaction and a deeper connection to Allah. Emotionally, being single can shield you from certain challenges that often arise in relationships. While healthy marriages are a source of comfort and support, not all relationships are free from conflict, misunderstandings, and emotional strain. Some people find themselves in situations where constant arguments, unmet expectations, or incompatible personalities lead to stress that affects their mental and physical well-being. Others may face betrayal, neglect, or emotional abuse, which can leave lasting scars. By remaining single until Allah decrees otherwise, you avoid being entangled in unhealthy dynamics that could drain your emotional energy and erode your sense of self-worth. This emotional space gives you the opportunity to focus on your own healing, self-awareness, and inner peace, without the daily demands of navigating another person's moods, needs, and expectations. You can maintain greater control over your emotional environment. You can create a life that is calm, organized, and aligned with your values, rather than constantly adjusting to accommodate someone else's patterns of behavior. This doesn't mean you avoid all challenges. No one's life is free from tests, but it means that the challenges you face are more likely to be ones you choose and have the capacity to handle, rather than ones imposed by a strained or mismatched relationship. There is also the benefit of having more time and energy to manage your mental health. When you are in a difficult relationship, Your emotional bandwidth can be consumed by the effort to keep things stable or to recover from conflict. Being single allows you to prioritize your psychological well-being without guilt. You can seek counseling if needed, practice self-care consistently, and build habits that protect your mental state. This can prepare you to enter any future relationship as a stronger, more resilient individual, capable of contributing positively to your spouse's life without carrying unhealed wounds. Avoiding unnecessary burdens also extends to your personal freedom. As a single person, you have greater control over your schedule and daily routine. You can decide how to spend your mornings, how to manage your evenings, and how to use your weekends without having to negotiate every detail with another person. You can take spontaneous trips, dedicate hours to a hobby, or commit to long-term projects without worrying about how it will affect someone else's plans. This level of independence can be incredibly liberating and can lead to a more fulfilling and purpose-driven life. In the context of Islamic practice, this freedom can be a blessing that allows you to deepen your worship and commitment to Allah. Without the pressures of managing a household, you can focus more on your salah, Quran recitation, voluntary fasting, and community involvement. You can spend more time in the masjid, participate in study circles, and attend Islamic events without having to balance these activities with the demands of family life. Your ibadah can be more consistent and less interrupted, which can have a profound effect on your iman over time. Being single can also protect you from the pressure to compromise on your principles. In some relationships, especially if the couple is not well matched in faith and values, one partner may feel pressured to engage in activities or adopt habits that go against their beliefs. Remaining single until the right person comes along can save you from situations where you are constantly negotiating your deen or facing temptation to lower your standards. This period of waiting becomes a form of safeguarding both your faith and your dignity. Furthermore, without the weight of unnecessary burdens, you have the clarity to set meaningful life goals and work steadily toward them. You can focus on building financial stability, pursuing knowledge, and developing life skills that will serve you in any future phase of life. You are free to plan your days, months, and years with a long-term vision in mind, without having to factor in the unpredictable needs of a spouse or children. This clarity can help you stay consistent and disciplined in your pursuits, leading to greater personal satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. Socially, being free from certain burdens means you can also be more available to others in your family and community. You can be present for aging parents, support siblings in their time of need, and contribute to the lives of friends without feeling stretched thin. You can attend important events, be there for moments that matter, and offer help without the limitations that come with juggling family obligations. This ability to give your time and attention to others can strengthen your relationships and make you a source of comfort and reliability in your circle. Ultimately, staying single during certain seasons of life can be a way Allah spares you from difficulties you are not yet prepared to face. The financial and emotional weight that comes with certain relationships can be heavy, and not everyone is equipped to carry it at every stage of life. By protecting you from these burdens, Allah may be giving you the space to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable, so that when the right time and the right person come, you are ready to embrace them with a heart that is whole, and a life that is stable. When you are single, you have greater control over your personal goals and dreams, because your time, energy, and resources are not constantly divided between your own ambitions and the needs of a spouse or children. This freedom allows you to set a vision for your life that is deeply personal and aligned with your values, without compromise or constant negotiation. You can decide where you want to live, what kind of work you want to pursue, what skills you want to learn, and how you want to spend your time, all according to what is best for your growth and for your service to Allah. Many people underestimate how much flexibility they have in their single years to chase dreams, explore new paths, and build a strong foundation for their future, both in this world and in the hereafter. When you are free from the demands of a relationship, you can focus entirely on developing your potential without feeling guilty for not giving enough to someone else. You can dedicate months or even years to mastering a skill, advancing in your career, or completing a degree. You can start a business, experiment with creative ideas, or invest in projects that might require long hours and unpredictable schedules. You can take risks that could be harder to justify if you were responsible for providing for a family. This ability to experiment and try different approaches without fear of letting someone else down can be the key to discovering what truly fulfills you and where your strengths lie. This control also extends to your spiritual and personal development goals. You can set a target for memorizing portions of the Quran, learning Arabic, or studying Islamic sciences, and then structure your days to make steady progress without interruption. You can attend weekend retreats, join online courses, or travel to study under scholars without having to balance the demands of a spouse's schedule or household duties. When your daily routine is in your own hands, you can protect your most productive hours and dedicate them to the things that matter most to you. Being in control of your goals also means you can prioritize your health and well-being. You can choose to commit to a consistent exercise routine, cook healthy meals, and create a lifestyle that supports your physical and mental health. You can seek therapy or counseling if you need it, without worrying about how someone else might perceive it, or how it might impact a relationship. You can take breaks when you feel burned out, rest when you need to, and set boundaries that keep you in a healthy state of mind. This level of self-care is often harder to maintain when you are constantly putting someone else's needs before your own. Financially, you can allocate your resources according to your long-term vision. You can save aggressively for future investments, purchase property, or build an emergency fund without having to constantly adjust your plans to meet another person's expenses or preferences. You can also choose to invest in personal enrichment, whether that's traveling to gain new experiences, attending workshops, or purchasing books and tools that help you grow. Because you are not tied to the financial commitments of family life, you have more freedom to use your earnings in ways that directly contribute to your own goals and dreams. Another advantage is that you can pace your life according to your own rhythm. You can work at a speed that suits you, take on projects when you feel ready, and avoid rushing into milestones just because others expect it. In relationships, people sometimes feel pressured to meet certain timelines, buying a house, having children, or achieving specific career goals to meet household needs. As a single person, you can avoid this pressure, and instead allow your plans to unfold at the pace that is right for you. You also have the space to explore your passions without compromise. If you love traveling, you can plan trips to destinations that inspire you without worrying about whether someone else will enjoy them. If you want to volunteer in a distant city, you can do so without hesitation. If you have a creative project in mind, you can pour yourself into it without distractions. This ability to act on your passions and curiosities can lead to experiences that shape your character and broaden your perspective in ways that will benefit you for a lifetime. Controlling your own goals also means you are less likely to lose sight of them. In some relationships, people sacrifice their dreams to support their partner's ambitions, or because circumstances demand it. While this can be an act of love and commitment, it often leads to regret if the person feels they never had the chance to pursue what mattered most to them. When you are single, you can protect your dreams from being sidelined. You can make choices that ensure your vision for your life remains intact, and that you stay true to the calling you feel deep inside. Moreover, this period gives you the chance to build discipline and self-motivation. Without a partner to push you or hold you accountable, you learn how to set goals, follow through on them, and stay committed even when challenges arise. This self-discipline is an invaluable skill, not just for achieving your personal dreams, but also for any future relationship, because it means you will be entering it as a complete, independent, and capable individual rather than someone relying on another person to drive their progress. In addition, the control you have over your goals allows you to align them more closely with your faith. You can make choices that prioritize your deen above all else, choosing career paths, social activities, and personal projects that strengthen your relationship with Allah, rather than compromise it. You can make decisions that might be unpopular with others, but that you know are best for your akhirah. This freedom to live fully in accordance with your principles is a blessing that should not be taken lightly. Your single years are also a time when you can build resilience through challenges. When you face setbacks in pursuit of your goals, you only have to manage your own emotions and recovery process, not those of a partner or children. You can learn from mistakes, adapt your plans, and grow stronger without feeling the additional pressure of how your choices might affect others. This resilience will serve you well in every aspect of life, including any future marriage. Finally, having control over your personal goals and dreams can bring a deep sense of satisfaction and purpose. You are not living reactively, constantly adjusting to someone else's vision. You are living intentionally, designing a life that is meaningful to you, and that brings you closer to Allah. This intentionality can make your single years some of the most productive, rewarding, and fulfilling of your life. Because every choice you make is aligned with the person you want to become, and the legacy you want to leave behind. When you are single, you have the invaluable opportunity to build a stronger relationship with Allah, before anyone else takes up a share of your time, emotions, and attention. This stage of life allows you to experience a closeness with your Creator, without the constant pull of competing responsibilities, giving you the space to truly understand who He is, what He has given you, and how you can live in a way that pleases Him. It is a period when your focus can be undivided, when your du'as can be whispered without interruption, and when your heart can be trained to depend solely on Him for comfort, guidance, and provision. Too often, people enter marriage without having firmly rooted their connection with Allah, hoping that their spouse will somehow fill that spiritual gap. But when you dedicate your single years to strengthening your iman, you enter any future relationship already complete in your reliance on Allah, which protects you from placing unrealistic expectations on another human being. This is the time to build consistency in your salah, to establish it not just as a habit, but as a source of peace and renewal. You can take your time with your prayers, reciting slowly, reflecting deeply on the meanings, and making long sujood filled with heartfelt du'as. You can wait for tahajjud in the stillness of the night, without worrying about disturbing anyone's rest, and you can fast voluntary fasts without the need to coordinate with another person's schedule. These acts of worship, done consistently and sincerely, transform your heart over time and create a bond with Allah that nothing else can replace. Being single also gives you more flexibility to seek Islamic knowledge. You can attend classes at the masjid, join study circles, travel to conferences, or enroll in online courses without the constant balancing act of family obligations. You can immerse yourself in the study of the Quran, tafsir, hadith, and the seerah of the Prophet enriching your understanding of the deen, and shaping your worldview through the lens of revelation. The knowledge you gain now becomes the foundation on which you make decisions, navigate challenges, and guide others in the future. In addition to structured learning, this phase allows you to develop the habit of personal reflection and dhikr. You can spend quiet moments remembering Allah throughout your day, contemplating His signs in the world around you, and recognizing His presence in every moment of your life. This mindfulness strengthens your trust in His plan, making it easier to accept delays, disappointments, and changes in direction with patience and gratitude. It also helps you see your single years not as wasted time, but as a divinely appointed season for deepening your faith. Another blessing of this stage is that you can purify your intentions without the complications that sometimes arise in relationships. Every act of worship, every moment of charity, every effort you make to better yourself is done for Allah alone, without the influence of wanting to impress a spouse or meet someone else's expectations. This purity of intention can lead to greater sincerity, which is the key to having your deeds accepted. The more you practice doing things purely for Allah, the more it becomes your natural way of living. Even when your circumstances change later in life, your single years are also an ideal time to practice sabr, patience, and tawakkul, trust in Allah. Many people feel impatient during this phase, anxious for companionship and longing for the day they will get married. But enduring this time with patience, while making sincere dua and trusting Allah's timing, can be one of the most powerful ways to draw closer to Him. The Prophet said that patience is a light, and in this context, it can illuminate your path, making you stronger and more content regardless of whether marriage happens soon or much later. You also have the chance to surround yourself with righteous companions who will support your journey toward Allah. Without the constraints of married life, you can choose to spend more time with people who inspire you, whether through shared acts of worship, volunteering together, or studying the deen. These relationships can uplift your iman and help you stay consistent, providing a support system that strengthens your connection with Allah and keeps you grounded in times of difficulty. Financially, this stage can be used to earn rewards that bring you closer to Allah. With fewer obligations, you can give more in charity, sponsor students of knowledge, or contribute to building projects for masjids and Islamic centers. You can be generous without the worry of depriving your family of necessary resources, and each act of giving can become a means of drawing nearer to Allah and earning His pleasure. Spiritually, being single allows you to be more present during acts of worship. You can focus fully on your recitation in prayer, on the meanings of the Quran as you read, and on the weight of your words in dua. There is a stillness in worship, when you are alone, that can be harder to achieve when your attention is divided among different responsibilities. This stillness can nurture a profound sense of peace and security, reminding you that you are never truly alone, as long as you have Allah. Your single years also give you the space to work on refining your character. You can identify and address traits such as impatience, anger, or arrogance without the pressure of these flaws harming a relationship. You can actively work on becoming more humble, more compassionate, and more forgiving. Qualities that not only bring you closer to Allah, but also prepare you to be a better spouse, friend, and member of the community in the future. This stage of life can also be a time for sincere repentance and renewal. Without the distractions of a busy household, you can take the time to reflect on your past mistakes, seek Allah's forgiveness, and commit to avoiding those sins in the future. You can create an environment that is conducive to obedience, free from harmful influences and focused on what brings you closer to your Lord. Finally, building a strong relationship with Allah while you are single ensures that no matter what changes in your life, your foundation remains steady. Whether you get married, remain single longer, or face unexpected trials, your reliance on Allah will be your anchor. You will have already learned how to find comfort in His words, how to turn to Him in times of need, and how to place your trust in His plan without fear. This inner strength is one of the greatest gifts you can carry into any future stage of your life, and it begins with making the most of the time you have now to know, love, and obey your Creator above all else.